Hi, I'm Brittany Kuhlman. This is my presentation for the internal and external communication for Garden City High School and Garden City Public Schools. So, for internal wise, our stakeholders, those are going to include our students, our certified classified staff, administrators, and our school board members. Externally, we have our parents and our families, the athletic booster clubs that we have for our school. There's not just one, there is many. Our community churches, they like to come in and support teachers and give them like goodie bags. And our local businesses, that could include Tyson Fresh Meats, Lewis Automotive Group, Real Men, Real Leaders, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and again, our youth groups from our churches, really anybody who has been involved within our school. Communication wise, when we are talking about internal, our school district and our high school, we use a lot of social media. Um, we use Facebook, our school website, Instagram, and Twitter. And we will post weekly updates on what's happening within our school athletically. If a teacher is posting pictures of what's going on in their classroom, they will repost those pictures. Um, Usually, I mean, just about all of our information is going to end up on social media. Emailing, we do a lot of emailing between staff members. There's lots of emails, and even through students and teachers, we do lots of emails now. Our school counselors and the Career Center, they will be sending out emails to students daily on new scholarship opportunities, volunteering, if they need volunteer hours, if we need to work on scheduling, all that kind of stuff. The Remind app, we use that. It's like a text messaging app. We send it out to, um, if we have an event canceled, that will be sent out to those people involved in that event. Sky Alert, we use for truancy problems. Um, so it kind of depends on who the phone is set up to. A lot of students have been switching their parents' phones to their phone numbers because they can do that online. And so if they miss a class, then the Sky Alert will go to their phone. And then we also do a lot of in-person talking at school. Obviously, we see everybody every day. So if we have an issue, it's easier just to go talk to them in person. And sometimes we call fellow teachers, say, hey, so and so, to show up to my classroom. Were they supposed to show up? And they would be like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. Communication wise, externally, again, the social media pages, we use those for just about everything. If we have events going on in our school, if we've had a situation in the school, such as a lockdown, um, the superintendent and the principal will draft a letter, but those letters are not sent out. They are then posted on social media. We do have the district weekly update, and that's also posted on our school website. Um, and it's emailed to everybody who signs up to it. It basically just says what's going on the whole next week, at all levels in our district, not just the high school. And then we do have some in person meetings, like school board meetings, athletic meetings. And then we also do make phone calls to those when we need some help. Two-way communication. So internally, we have our PLC meetings where we will, take surveys. We are talking, we are getting information from other teachers, we are collaborating, really. The district also sends out surveys to all the schools. And it's a survey that's like, I feel supported by my administrator. I feel supported by the district, those types of surveys. And then we also have monthly staff meetings for the high school. Externally, um, we will send out social media surveys, especially during the summertime. We will send out surveys about transportation if a student needs it, internet capabilities, um, if you need school supplies, all those kinds of things. We send out surveys a lot on social media. And then we also post on there if we need volunteers for opportunities. Um, so we hosted regional track in May, and we ended up hosting all of 6A and then all of 3A track. And we needed some extra help with people working the event. So our track booster club posted that on social media, and we got all the employees that, or not necessarily employees, but people that we needed to help run the event smoothly. Communicates most. So internally, I would say we work on the current and future success of students because we are discussing our struggling students, and we can refer them on to the SAT team if needed. We do talk about changes to school policy or schedules. Sometimes we have activity schedules, sometimes we're on a block scheduling. And so we are communicating and talking about what is best for our students. And we usually do that in person or through email. We do not usually make those announcements during the school day. It's just going to be in the teacher email. Externally, hosting athletic and community events. So at that point, we're engaging families um, to strengthen learning. And Garden City is already a diverse community. So when we are posting things on Facebook, it's usually like if it's a picture of saying, like, hey, we got this event going on, there's usually two pictures posted. One is going to be in Spanish, one is going to be in English. We also post a lot of career opportunities or scholarship opportunities on our social media pages. That's promoting our families, supporting school improvement, and advocating needs for our community because we are advocating that we need help within the schools um, when we post our career opportunities. And then scholarship wise, we're promoting that our kids are awesome and that they can get a scholarship and possibly come back and work within our community. We do a lot of social media posts. We don't really do hardly any written or letters home anymore. All of it is really posted on the school website or on social media. And I think that we should probably do a better job at not only posting it digitally, just because not everybody has access to digital materials. When it comes to being more involved internally wise, our school board and our schools in general, I think they could be more involved with our community. Um, our school board, they do make a point to go around to each school at the beginning of each year, and they will address concerns with teachers and staff. And so when I worked at the middle school, every year a couple of school board members would come in with our superintendent and they would say, how is the roof doing? Because Kenneth Henderson was notorious for having a leaky roof, even though it was being replaced and being worked on. And we would say, well, it's still leaking. Like, we are still having to put trash cans out in the hallway, and then kids kick the trash cans over, and there's just water everywhere. Um, but I do think they could do a better job when we have concerns at fixing them. Um, Granted, when it came to the leaky roof, they would bring somebody out to fix it, but it never actually got fixed. The presence of teachers and staff at school board meetings, we really, as a community, in a school community, we do a terrible job at going to school board meetings if unless we have to present something at that meeting. I don't go to school board meetings just because with my athletics and stuff after school, it's very hard to get to them. But I do read through the minutes like religiously. I am going through them constantly. And they always will say how many people are in the audience, and there's usually none. And so I think that if we are expecting change as a school community, we should really present that to the school board. Community wise, um, the public and the community only really addresses a need for change when something happens. They don't really go out and about and say, we need to do this better in the school. We need to improve the way this school looks. We really only hear about things that need to be changed when something happens. So, for example, this last year, my high school was a part of a swatting call, and there were a few across the state. And they were posting on social media what the police officers were telling our principals, post on social media saying that there was an incident, but there's no threat. Police are doing a precautionary sweep, but again, there's no threat. And the public freaked out about it. They said that we did not handle the situation correctly. that we need to do better. And so, like I said, we only hear about the addressing for change when something happens. Another example, a student, I think it was a pre-K student, was left on a bus. Um, for it was in the morning, so they were left on the bus until the buses went back out for pick up afternoon kids, and they didn't address anything until that happened, saying that our transportation is terrible, that we need to do better, but there's no outcry for anything other than unless something happens. And I also think our community needs to do a better job at attending school events. It doesn't seem like, aside from athletic events, that they want to be involved in our school events. So, for example, we had the arts and communications showcase during the fall semester. In all the classes within that academy, we prepare for the community to come in and see all the great things that we're doing. So, for example, our show choir, they're performing, bands performing. My classes last year were doing ankle taping and sports medicine care, that kind of stuff. Arts, they were showing off all of their art that they've done. And really, out of the attendance, we only had about 300 people from the community come. Um, and that says a lot because we have over 600 students in that academy. So not even their families came. So I do think our community needs to do a better job at attending our events. And at that point, they could be promoting the future success of students by giving them confidence. And then they could also advocate for our school if they see something they don't like, because then they are there, they're firsthand experiencing it. And here are my references.